Am I gonna stay in art or am I gonna do software design? I guess I'll stay in art for now. Yeah. So yeah, I'm just gonna continue on with the martial artist that I left off with last time. I think it was the fourth time on stream that I've been working on it. Like I said, I'm pretty slow. Um, I thought about doing something different, but um, I think better just keep plugging away at what I'm doing. I mean, I'm still after what a month or so, still getting used to working on my game on stream. So trying to get that workflow down, and hopefully I'll pick up speed. And I think sticking to a task probably is helpful. I did look at my spreadsheet of all the abilities I had come up with and all that. And since I'm done like the main like motion of the animation for the martial artist, I had considered just maybe leaving it in like this silhouetted kind of style and plugging it into the game before doing all the like detailed shading and everything, which I might still do, but even that part's not done yet. Like I still got to add the banner and the wrap around the wrist, animate this a little better. If the motion's fully done, I might do that. But I went back and looked at the abilities that I wanted to put in for the martial artist. One of them was like an after image. So like the idea was if you miss an attack against them, they would summon a minion that's like an after image of themselves. And it would further make it more difficult to hit them. So that's an option. I would have to that. I mean, that's a new minion type, so it would need its own animation. Um, and yeah, I would want it to be done mechanically so that I could plug the martial artist into the game. So that might be just like the basics of it might be more important than completely finishing out the animation. And it'd be easier to like test like I mean I could test enemy classes with like blank slates really, but I mean just having this would look good enough to like test and like test out vibes, and then I could just kind of like plug away at like shading and texturing and detailing everything as I go along. But for now, I do need to finish just the general like not every part is in this right now, right? So the stick is coming down. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is that right? Looks a little longer than that, but oh no, wait. Oh yeah, it's 6. Okay, and then this is 3 wide. And then one longer on the top, and then again one longer on the top, but in the other direction. So that tie right there should pretty much stay the same. I don't see any reason why that tightly wrapped part would change. Okay. That makes sense. So it's staying consistent with this though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The distance is the same, but I think part of the flag is like kind of wrapped down over here. So we might want to lean into that just a little bit. Um, It's like it's sort of like falling in front somewhat. All right. This doesn't move that much. So I think we're pulling this along, but this is should be about as strong as the arc really is. Now let me see if I put that on the bandana layer, didn't I? Well, okay, I can fix that later. But basically, let's see. Does this pass behind the hand? No, it does not. Okay. We'll just draw around it. Okay. Is that looking significantly shorter? Maybe it starts to curl around a bit. Hmm. That frame doesn't look good at all. We'll have it just come out like that. Hmm. That makes it look pretty whippy. Like this frame to that frame, I mean, I would adjust the curve of this a little, but that kind of makes sense. The right length, I would say, and then, well, honestly, you might even be able to be a little bit longer. But then I'm not sure this frame to that frame. It's not bad. Let's see. Yeah, coming down, it kind of like whips. It's not too bad. It's coming up that's gonna be the problem. Like, it doesn't make sense really. So I could reverse it and have like completely new frames on that. I think it kind of, I don't know, maybe I will texture the whole thing because it would be kind of be better to have like everything about those frames on the opposite side be repeated except for the flag and just redraw the flag. And that would provide a lot more motion. All right, let's see the wrist wrap. I'll adjust that later. The wrist like barely changes at all here. That might be the point that we're aiming for. No, I mean that doesn't really work. The position of it is changing by like half of a square, so it should be longer than that. Okay, maybe shave off a couple of pixels on the end there. Okay. Maybe that one can come over because whipping up from the other side, and that just a little bit longer. It feels a lot like bulkier on that side, so probably expand that just a little bit. I guess we just say it like pretty much flips around in its wrist right here. I mean, he flips his hand and like starts pulling it in the opposite direction, so that much of a flip kind of makes sense. It's a little bit drastic. I mean, it's definitely noticeable. This right here doesn't work at all. I just kind of copied and pasted the end of it to get the relative position, but it needs to flap. Yeah, I guess I kind of like how it is here, although, like I said, I could shorten it even more. Oh, that one. I think that's totally fine. This just might be like too long, like because it's straight. Guess that pixel might not be part of the sash. Not really sure. But yeah, less space between here kind of works better. Also need to make sure that I can actually pass it down in front of the leg if I need to. Okay, let's first cut a section off of it everywhere. Let's get the sprite a little more compact. though. I guess it was part of the sesh. All right. Okay, so this is going with the body, which doesn't really make sense. Like, it's falling when we're pushing down, and then when we're coming back up, it's raising up. It should actually be the opposite. So if anything, it should start like curling up more. That might be too much. Let's throw that on the third frame. And just try to do something in between. Like, I think at least if it like curls up and then like flicked out at all, like that might make some sense, but or it might just make it look like the wind is providing a lot of the force of motion, but I wonder if it would look convincing if we like curled it around and then just had it like straighten out. Let's experiment with that. It should be further down. There's a problem here where like I guess it's okay if the ribbon sort of flaps up and down, but I don't want the attachment point to do that. So if the points of it don't reverse direction, it might look a little better, but I think we're maybe giving up on this like wrapping around thing. Okay. Then we also have this issue of everything being a little too far from the leg. I think it'd be okay, but after it's twisted, it should still have a bit of a twist in it because if it's getting blown back, like I don't know, they should be like wrapped around each other or something. But I don't really know, yeah, how to represent that. Maybe I guess if the other one was wrapped over, it should actually like be pointed more down. So that, like this one kind of comes over. Um, let's just make it a little thicker just around there so it looks like something's like folded over. This can come out. It should make that less dramatic. It shouldn't just be a ball. Like if it's wrapped, then maybe like the edge of it. I don't know. It's looking rough. treating the end of it as like two ribbons, but it could just be two ribbons coming out the original font. I think I gotta start from scratch on this one. I'll take the first frame. Okay, this looks a little more like coming out from here, but then it's spreading into two distinct ribbons. So I wonder if I could probably work with that a little more. Okay, so we come down. We can still edit the previous frame. Coming down, so these can curl up a bit. Maybe this gets a little bit shorter too. Curls inward. Do that for the next frame. I can just copy the whole frame. Did I? Or wait, did I always have 7? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, okay. Yeah, this whole frame doesn't need to exist. All right, if this is being pushed more, maybe we could just separate them a bit starting here. As we curl even more inwards. So you just make it a little bit thicker and then that's a little too long. That's not bad. maybe we'll just start to kind of reverse this one here. Just in the sense that it's more straight, and then the motion downwards is coming to a stop towards like the 6. So I think maybe from here we can allow it to fall. This frame, I don't know, looks a little too thick to me. Even if it's 2 ribbons, it's like um ribbon's a little longer. That last frame is really, really not working. Okay. It's a little better. Hmm. This doesn't really make sense. Like they're falling and then they're kind of like the ends of them are lifting up. Um, it's a little wrong. I mean, if one of them curls up a little bit, but they're mostly falling, maybe it's a little better. Whole thing looks a little bit long. Still kind of looks like it stretches on the last frame. Oh yeah. Just adjust that a little bit. Okay. Well, it's a little better. Just gonna check the curve of all of this. Because it looks a little jagged on some frames. Okay. Hmm. Still don't really like this. This feels like this whole thing needs to be like rotated just a little. Like even less than that. Um, this stuff's hard. Hello, I see goat. How's it going? That frame looks a little weird. Maybe just add a little bit of roundness to the ribbon like that. Feels like maybe it should have a little bit more bulk here because it has one on another frame. Yeah, it's almost bulging out here. Um, hmm. Okay. I'm doing pretty good. I'm just trying to figure out the animation on this sash. Like, animating fabric is really hard for me. Like, I'm having it be treated as like two separate ribbons and then it's curling up a bit here. This just looks very square though. And then I feel like this is a little too long. Maybe this whole thing is too long. This is too long, but maybe not thick enough here. Hard to say. Mm. Yeah, I don't know. I think everything is close enough to maybe start doing like the shading and texturing on everything and then like nitpick little pixel details because a lot of the rough edges in terms of shape can be sort of sanded away by shading. Like this guy's head has a bit of a square edge on it. I believe I did that intentionally to give like the face sort of like a mask and then like rounded in the back, and just it does look a little weird. But like what you could do is, I don't know. Uh, if this side of the head is always shaded, you're not really gonna notice that. But it might make sense to just add an extra pixel there anyway. I'm not sure why I did that. I think if I just had it too rounded around the back and then the ear, I thought it looked a little too bubbly. Now I gotta pick colors, because these aren't the originals, and I picked some that make sense, but they're not always final. So like, I don't know. The orange gi, I'm definitely thinking Goku. That's on the brain for sure. I like the white flag. Maybe even like a little more white might make sense. Like on I mean that's just Goku. That is literally just Goku. Let's see. It's gonna open. What did I have? Let's see. Ah, okay, here's a good example. When I'm doing like skin colors, I don't necessarily pick like human skin colors. I just picked like a tone, but my lumberjack is greenish blue. I just thought it kind of made sense with the sort of copper looking axe that I chose. That I just thought it looked like a nice contrast if like he looked like oxidized copper. Like I don't know. Not every person you encounter in the game is like, strictly speaking, like a normal human, I guess. I'm imagining this guy is like literally made of some sort of like oxidized copper, so like a metal guy going around chopping wood. Um, and then I think I had. Well, he was the only blue one. What else do I have? I gotta remind myself. We have the clerics, which like looks like a normal skin tone. I picked like orange, like I don't know. In my palette, it looks like a normal skin tone, but it's like very orange. And then I had the knights, who you can't see their face at all. Necromancers are like yellow. The druids are red. The shepherds have a normal skin tone. Majority, I guess they will have like a normal skin tone. Let me see. The druid. I mean, I had them like completely red because I was like thinking of like, I don't know, mahogany wood or something like that. But I don't know, yeah, what would look best with the orange. I mean, I kind of like how this looks. I don't think like a green would look good on this one. or, well, take the other ramp here of like greenish blue, because I've got two of them. I mean, blue's like a complementary color to orange, but yeah, it's just doing too much. That's not terrible. It's almost like too much color, right? I don't hate that either. I'm just thinking in terms of base colors. I don't like that. No, I just think having like a normal darker skin tone actually seems to work out pretty well. I think maybe the one on the face would be like the base. And then we can work off of that. Okay. So I gotta give him a face to start with. And I tend to do like for both the lumberjack and the druid, I did like a darker pupil between 2 pixels. And then kind of outline for like the eyebrow, underline eye. This one too, I had like a couple pixels side by side, and then like prominent markings around the face, and that's where I can make them look a little more unique and different. So let's just play around with some faces, I guess. What color did I say I did not mind for the head? Maybe we could try that out as an eye color. Okay. Oops. Hmm. Feels like the pupil should be darker than that if we're gonna go for that. Now that's fairly simple, but just like trying to work out like general shapes. Hmm. That's one option, I guess. Um, let's try it in blue. Can look at placement too, so that might be a little high. Hmm. I don't know. I've been trying to have like every enemy just be like a different kind of person and just like add fantasy elements to their face and stuff like that. But what color is that? Did I actually have that in my palette? I don't believe so. Hmm. I don't know. It looks kind of cool. All right. I kind of like having the sort of darker sclera and the lighter pupil. But other than that, I'm not convinced about just the random shit I'm drawing on his face. I like the color of blue too. But actually, let's try with um, the other one. No, that's too bright. Not bad like that. What if I take them off of a different color ramp? That's a bit too jarring, eh? The green with the dark blue is pretty alright. I don't know if I want this one to just have like 3 flat pixels. Maybe I'll mix it up a bit. Kind of like that. I don't know. Just knock my microphone. It's not too bad. Could give it a little. No. Yeah, I don't know. I might just leave it for now. Um, we could work on some of the mechanics for it and then just export like this basic version of it. We just we'll get the eyes in every frame and then we'll do that. They level with the ears here. Now they were 1 pixel below the ears. Oops. I guess it makes it pretty obvious that the bandana like compresses here, and then I think maybe the head needs to come down completely on frames 5 and 6. What is that behind? the one frame 4. Okay, I need to find out what frame that comes from. Okay, it's on the sash. All right. Yeah, I'll export it for now. And let me just see if okay. We'll pull up the martial artist scene, and then right now, they just have like a animated sprite is just a default one I put in. So let me just see. I got this one now. It's been a while since I've done this. The sprite frames are now what I just exported, right? Oh no, I need a new sprite frame. But then the resource is... Oh. Yeah, right. Okay. It's always trying to play a specific animation called idle, so I need to rename that. Can I rename that? Or do I need to... Yeah, I guess I might need to change it. Can I rename it? That's strange. Don't know why I can't... I thought I could right click on them and then rename them or delete them or... Oh, okay. That's a different trash. Okay. Oh, okay. I just had to double click it. There's a different trash icon here for trashing the animation versus trashing a frame. Okay. So what I need to do is, I don't think I can just have I think in a normal animation player, you can have it like ping pong, but in, oh yeah, we can turn on animation looping, but I don't see anything about having a ping pong animation without just like copying and pasting all the frames. I'm hoping there is a way and I'm just missing it. Okay. There we go. All right. Perfect. So if I just go to the encounter tables, I've got a few with alchemist. I'll just put martial artist instead because the alchemist doesn't even have an animation. We'll save that. I'll launch the game. Just make sure it's in there properly. Let's see. All right. Let's try to get. I'll just switch my category to software and development. Actually, no. I don't know. It'll be a mix if I do more pixel art of maybe a little bit of code in this. So. Okay, that's very strange. I don't think I've ever had that before. There shouldn't be 5 enemies. Do I have the one from last time? The animation's in there, but that might be an issue of the battle not properly clearing whatever was previously in there. Yeah, I shouldn't have 5. What the hell is this? Okay. Let me move my chat window over here just for a second. Because what I'm looking for is what's in the remote. Oh yeah, I've got 2 battles going on. That's not good. I think it has to do with me having my 100% chance of getting into a battle, but then that's not great because they're still double triggering, which was a bug that I had before. And we're seeing it because they're triggering twice. And it's sort of like adding both scenes at the same time. But even if I put it at, say, like a 5% chance, then there'd be still a chance it double triggers. That really shouldn't happen. That looks more normal. Okay, so we can put a martial artist in and test. I mean, I think the fastest way might be to continue with like doing these basic character animations and then plugging in the details later. It'll just let me like prototype enemies faster. I'm gonna take a quick little break, like 5 minutes, just to go to the bathroom. All right, I'm back. So yeah, if the martial artist is in there, I think I had two abilities in mind for it, where Afterimage and then I think just a normal attack that like does like multiple blows. So let's see what we got. Afterimage should be the easier one to implement, I guess. Well, no, the other one's the easiest one, but I just need to check if I have a damage calculation for it because I wanted to reduce the power of each blow, but like I don't know if I have that already in. Afterimage is a passive skill, so it actually doesn't have to have any code, but there's code elsewhere that checks whether it is on a particular battle entity, enemy or party member. So let's see. First, we'll give it to the martial artist. Oh, okay, it doesn't want us doing that while the game's running. Cannot instantiate martial artist because the current scene exists within one of its nodes. What the hell does that mean? Okay, fine. All right. So known skills, I basically have it like this. They have an array, and I have to just make sure that the node of that skill is like part of the scene of the enemy, and then add that as like their known skills, so that I have a reference to it. It's probably a way better way of doing that. Um, Honestly, probably just code it in and like have each enemy initialized with like their list of known skills, but right. Let me search in the code if there's any reference to Afterimage at all. Just the class name. Okay. Let me pull up my spreadsheet here. Okay. Oh, I don't have that in. Okay, I probably am gonna want that in. Just give me a second. Yeah. I'll want that here for reference. So let's see. For martial artists, what did I say Afterimage? When missed, create an illusory double. This spreadsheet is so white it lights up my face. Like, it's not moving on my stream right now, but I can just like move it on my screen. Look how white this is. Anyway. All right. I can't remember exactly how I handled like enemies being missed, but probably just in general skills. Okay. So we attempt damage. Oh, hide my spreadsheet. When do we attempt damage? See, that's the thing. I don't think that when you attempt damage is the only time a move can miss, right? Okay. Let me go through this whole thing. You use a move. All right, so you decrease by the current MP cost. You check if it can be used before this. This is like outside. Then you change time cost. You mark the user of that move as having been used already. Oh, blinding can like change the target. And then you will wait do effect, which is unique to the skill. Oh, I guess attempt damage is just called like by damaging abilities. Right? So you get when you attempt damage, you get a skill success report back, which has whether it was a miss, and I think some other stuff. Okay, that's not open. It's just a resource I had where it tells you if it missed, crit, or damaged. Or how much damage, and then what type. But no, we want to be able to miss like status moves too. I need to rethink that actually. Maybe I just need to rename it because I mean I could just set the amount of damage to 0. Okay, attempt damage. Calculate the damage based on so like let's say attack is your basic skill. It has a base damage calculation and there are multiple different types. And then I can have like certain stat checks versus others that are calculated differently, but I guess I could have one where that's none. Okay. Yeah, I think the martial artist was a good test case anyway, because I think I need to implement a way for like multi-hit attacks, but having like a lower strength multiplier. And you just hit more than once, but with smaller hits. Need to think about that. I mean, if they all have attempt damage, I should probably just rename it and put it in skill. So like fireball attempts damage. Oh, okay. Cleave attempts damage against every enemy. I guess maybe that's why it's in there because I wanted to do it like one in a row for this particular ability. Because some like cast a big fireball, it might hit everybody at once. I mean, not like under the hood, but it might look like it does. And then for this one, you might want to like hit everybody in a row and then. Right. I mean, I don't currently have a way for you to fail like abilities like curing yourself. But I think making it more generalizable probably makes more sense. I'm trying to remember what other abilities I put in there that are coded in. Cure all are basically the same. Defensive stance, I guess, could be cleave. Summon snake. Okay. Summoning doesn't fail. I mean, there definitely could be conditions where it could. And then defensive stance. Yeah, I mean, it just does it. I guess the ways it would fail is like it. There's a separate function that tells you whether you can use it, and you can't use it if you don't have the MP. You can't use it if you have certain status conditions. It's just not very robustly thought out right now. So let's see. Does damage type have a none? I don't know if it needs it. Okay, there's only a few references to attempt damage. I'll just call it attempt skill. Yeah, there's only 4 references to it, really. Um, okay, attempt skill. I mean, each move's implementation of that might just be. Yeah, it might just need to be like anything that really targets something might need to pass through this. But yeah, okay. So we're checking if it was a miss. That's already, we have a calculation for that. And then if it was not a miss, then we do all that. We check if it's a critical hit. But if it was a miss, the report says it's a miss. And then we return the damage type. Okay, so we would want them to actually spawn. We would want them to summon after, and so it can't be like in the report, like just because it missed. Yeah, that's a tricky one actually. Because we're not getting that report in the use function. And we're not returning just one report. Like each instance of damage actually like could be separate. Hmm. Like, for example, cleave. What do we do? You use cleave, and then for each target, um, you attempt the skill, you get the report. If it's not a miss, then you yeah, display a message, change the health by the amount that's reported. I guess you would want it to be after do effect, but you would want do effect to return the report, but you would want it to return, yeah, each report. Oh shit. Doing the effect to all of them at once. But you might want, like, if you're cleaving through and you're hitting 1, 2, 3, then after you hit 1, then you want its ability to trigger, and then 2, and then 3. Yeah, I need to rethink the whole system of like how you communicate with the target, I guess. Okay. I need to think on this. And then we need another one. Let's see. Where's our skills? I probably just want to copy attack skill as a template, but I'll call it rapid strike. This might just help us like resolve it because I need an ability that could do like multiple hits to the same enemy, and I need one that can hit each enemy in sequence or like all at the same time. So just that as a template might help me figure out what a more generalizable solution to all of them is. This one might be easier to solve than the cleave ability as well. Okay, so I guess what we would want to do here is like define a number of hits that you could do and then roll. Maybe there's a range. You roll for that number and then you attempt damage that many times, but each one could be a potential miss. So I mean, attempt skill. Let's see. Um, what do we add to the message here? So we have critical hit. Oh, I guess you just I guess that's it. I guess you could put it in here as long as you wait for the target to do its thing. Hmm. A target is a single battle entity in this case, so maybe even attempt skill is like too vague of a word. It's like attempting damage, but there might be some moves that just do 0 damage, like they're attempting a status effect. I'm not sure if I have like a message anywhere that says that it missed. Oh, that's in. It's like in the individual skill. I don't think that's what I want, but that's a lesser problem. Oh, we need an integer, huh? It might work. It just might be out of order, and then I need to like rethink that part. But first minion type. Let me just make sure illusory doubles in there. Yeah, that's all the ones I had thought of. And then what do we have for the actual scene? Nothing. Let me just make sure it's structured like that. I guess it doesn't appear. Okay, I guess it doesn't appear until it's spawned. Okay. Let me just. It might take a while to find the correct. Well, I could just set the accuracy of the attack ability to like nothing if I run into um, a martial artist. Could try that. Okay, we'll run away from that. That's no martial artist. Okay. So what I'm gonna do, uh, I'll switch to my developing window. You know what? I'll just do it remotely. Let's see. Party sprite display? No. Party control panel. Party stat area. And then the stat windows. These all have an assigned party member. Oh, their attack skill is right here. I'll just set that to 0. No. Well, I don't know what's going to happen because I already have the skeletons in. Invalid access to property or key illusory double on a base object of type nil. That's very weird. Oh, wait. Is it because I don't have all caps? They did try to summon it though, because it missed. Yeah, that's it. I have all these as all caps. I forgot I did that. All right. Maybe I'll just not have them summon the skeletons. And then we'll see. Let's get into a fight. All right. So now the enemies don't have any minions. They will. I think it would just fail if. Oh, okay. I need to grab the remote version of my party member. Get their attack skill, set the accuracy to 0, and then try to do it. Okay. I think the only thing was that like that happened simultaneously. But like this is a placeholder for an illusory double. Let's make that take a little longer. So now this might play out of order if I add a message here, but just heal up. And then next turn I'll do the same thing with my protagonist because they're the only ones I set their attack skill down to 0. Oh, wait, the shepherd did it? I had the wrong thing. Okay, yeah, that plays out of order because it's being called out of order, but we're close. So it said that it summoned an illusory double before it missed because the message is not played. I think the message is added when you check if it's a miss, but it's not played until it comes back. Okay, I guess this message is being added in each individual skill. So we don't want that. We're going to control for that outside. Oh, I guess, okay, so that's why each individual skill might have a unique missing message. Like I say, attacked but missed, but that doesn't make as much sense if it's like a normal attack. So, like, okay, this just says missed. Cast fireball but missed. Attacked but missed. Okay. Let's just get rid of those for now. This could be replaced later with like a unique missing message, but that could be like coded into just the um, class variables of each skill. Let's just keep it simple for now. All right. That probably fixed it already. So the damage numbers were popping up and then now we're getting like the message box in front not showing it, but okay, let's see here. You missed and then it summoned an illusory double. So that's what we want. That's actually good. That's good. But the illusory doubles don't do anything yet. We can code that in. I think there's another ability I had that like considers them. Let's see. Bring up the spreadsheet again. I have essentially all my ideas for skills, but then on the mechanic table I can check like, okay, so for illusory double, for example, all the interactions with them. So there are two, like they're different interaction types. They could summon illusory doubles, and then there are two abilities that do that. So maybe an illusionist also conjures them. And then I'm like balancing based off whether enough abilities have that interaction with them. So like, for example, maybe I'll take something a little more robust. Sleep. There are 3 abilities that inflict sleep, 4 that cure sleep, 1 that can inflict to yourself, which I wanted to count like separately, like you might do it intentionally. You punish, so that would be like do extra effects to things that are sleeping. There are 2, and then there's 1 that resists, helps resist sleep. So just stuff like that to see if like if I introduce a mechanic, is there only one ability that like really interacts with it, or for all of these status effects, all of these minions, like are there enough things that you can do with them where there's different interactions? And there's not yet, but this is my current tally. Right, so if I get the illusory double to work, it would be really easy to include conjure illusions. Okay, give me a second. Numbers just crashed. That's fine. But anyway, because conjure illusions is just like a simple summoning spell. It's the same as like the ones that summon skeletons and snakes. It's just, I think, for an MP cost, you can do like 2 of them at once. Let's see. Yeah, I guess the question is like whether illusory doubles. When you check minion action, it's like, do they do anything? And for example, in this case of snakes, they'll attempt to poison the enemy. I don't know if these guys do anything. They might do a small attack or something, but what they really do is increase your evasion like passively all the time. So I guess we're looking for was miss, and then trying to figure out like how much to decrease it by. There you can have 6, I guess, and you can get 2 at once. So I mean, I don't know. It'll all have to be balanced, but like as a test, is 5% evasion per illusory double you have. Doesn't seem crazy to me. So let's say, I mean, we'll adjust these calculations, but as long as something's in there. Okay. So the base percent chance is 100 minus the accuracy of the move. So if it's 90% accuracy, you have a 10% chance to miss. 3% penalty for each minion for ranged skills. Right, okay. So a bunch of minions can like slow you down if you're like going through them. Like if they 6, it might take an extra unit of time or 2 to attack them. If you're ranged though, any kind of minion will decrease your accuracy. And the advantage of melee is that you can like get right in there and like go straight to the enemy that you're fighting. If you're blinded, you get a 30% penalty. And then you do an agility contest. I'll put a method in enemy to count like how many illusory doubles they have. And I think like these should probably decrease based on a percentage of what's left and not just give like raw numbers, because you could end up being, you could have a, I don't know, I think the math, if you stack everything up, it could be like really bad, like maybe too aggressively bad. If you're blinded, it would be, let's say you have an ability that's 90, and that might not be like the standard. It's just like I have attacks like normally set to just have a base chance of missing, and then you adjust that based on agility of like 10%, and then it could be more than that if their agility is higher than yours. But let's say it's equal, it's 10%. But if you're blinded, it's 40% already. And then I guess you can add another 30% if you have like 6 illusory doubles. So it could be 70% chance of missing. Oh, I guess that's before the agility calculation. So you could have a 70% chance of missing. If your agility is equal and everything's stacked up. That might not be aggressive enough, actually. If you're blind and they have 6 illusory doubles and you still have a 30% chance to hit, maybe that's too easy. I don't know. Missing's pretty punitive because you lose your time units that you have to do your moves. All right, let's make that function. Okay, so for minion in summon minions. Oh, this is returning an int. If minion. Let me check if it's name that I want to check, or it'll be the scene, so I guess I have it called minion name, the property. Minion name. Okay. All right. Okay. Oh. Okay. That has to be typed. We just check it, I guess, like this. So okay, is it still on? Okay. Let's see, we already got one, so let's just use up all of them. I don't know why they didn't take a turn. Oh, they didn't take a turn because, well, they just have the one passive ability, but I should have let them attack randomly. I don't know why that didn't happen. Oh, maybe I didn't assign an attack ability to them. We'll see. Okay, so what we should get, let's see here. We should get them printing two, and that we'll make a third, but we should get 2 printings of the illusory double in our output there. So yeah, illusory double 1 and 2, and then he makes a third. So when that returns, should have a pretty solid chance of missing. Actually, I didn't set anybody else's chances lower, so let's see if I don't know. I mean, it could still hit, but it's supposed to be like a 15% reduction in your chance to hit, so that brings us to 75%. There's a chance we just miss with everybody else too. Oh, okay. We hit them and then they died, but that was supposed to maybe happen. It could have happened the other way around. I'm just gonna take another quick bathroom break. All right. So that's good. We could have like an active ability that summons illusory doubles, which would be pretty easy to implement now that they work. And then I guess the next thing it would make sense to animate would be an illusory double, which I don't think should actually be a double of whatever summoned it. Like I could maybe do that with a shader, but I mean it could just be like a ghosty looking thing. I'm thinking of multiple classes being able to make use of it. So it's like it's an Afterimage if that only summon if you get hit, or you don't get hit as a martial artist, but then like illusionist should be able to summon them too. Then maybe some other classes, so I guess it should be like a little bit of bit generic. conjure illusions. Okay. Oh, you know what? I already did it. I guess because it was easy. Yeah, so you do the effect. I guess I just implemented my summoning abilities, I suppose. Maybe some of them, maybe not all of them. It's been a while. I don't even remember. You just say that you summon illusory doubles and then you try to summon 2 of them. You can only do it if your number of summoned minions is less than 6. And then it returns the reason why not if it doesn't work. Okay. That's good. Okay. The martial artist, what else? They did have that one other ability for like multiple hits. I call it rapid strike, rapid something. Which I guess if I'm not completely reworking the like attempt damage function, and it just worked fine, like the missing worked fine the way I have it now, I can just put it in like itself, the way some other abilities are implemented. So we do need to attach that. Let's see. We need to attach that ability to a martial artist. Let's just close out the game because sometimes it doesn't let me do stuff like that. Add 1 to this list of known skills. We want it to have AI to do that, and then we want to code in this ability and then have it have AI to do that. So I guess let's just take a look at Cleave. Just use that as a template because instead of hitting one guy multiple times, it just kind of like hits a few guys. It's pretty similar though. I don't know what the appropriate number of hits would be, but let's just go with like Pokemon logic for now, like Fury Strike or whatever it is. Different moves that hit 2 to 5 times. Yeah, let's constrain it a little bit. Let's say 2 to 4. Oh, well, if it's an export, I'm not going to assign it. I'll do that outside. We're putting that so that we can put it in the editor. I have to reload that to actually make it work, but... Oh, right. Oh, and it's probably not working because I can't save it with all this stuff here, but... Okay. Yeah, do we want a message at the beginning or do we want... Let me figure out where I make a random roll. I do it. Right here. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Make a random number generator, and then we'll do can't remember if that's inclusive. Let me just check that. Anyway. Probably rewrite that a bit to make it a little more user friendly, but maybe after the loop. I guess we don't want to just say that it hit it that number of times if some of them were misses. So I suppose we could change that. Okay. Might be hard to figure out like if you strike multiple times and you hit or if you miss and you lose time, if I should end the turn right away, and if so, how would I do that? That's maybe a problem for another time, though. Okay, so attack randomly is just like a default that any enemy can use. It'll just pick a random target, but in this case, we want it to try to use another ability first, and this is generally how I put in my abilities. This animation is probably fine. I think when it calls an animation and it doesn't exist, then it's just fine. I mean, these trees of logic are going to get like more complex when I have more abilities put in and like trying to make some of the enemies smarter than others. All right. Just going to reset up my view for the game. Hopefully this works. I did it pretty quick, so hopefully it's not too haphazard. Just looking for a martial artist right now. Okay. I'll just kill other stuff and then see if they do their ability, so. I need to get those damage numbers visible past the message box. It's just not showing up. All right. Okay, we killed that. Okay, we got a problem. They're not doing their thing. Yeah, now we have a problem then. I probably didn't set them up properly. They have like default stats put in, and they have their abilities. But there's something about them that's different. I'll have to figure that out. I think the enemy turn wasn't always triggering anyway as a bug, but I still need to figure that out. I'll just see if I can get it to do that, or if it's a problem with the martial artist. I think it's a problem with the martial artist because I just started a battle with one on in the background, and if there are bugs that are popping up, it might be popping up like in the middle or later in a fight. This just like started and nothing happened, and I believe it's because it was their turn. Let's see. Do I have a normal attack just assigned to enemies? Or battle entities, I think. Yeah, their attack skill is always instantiated. Oh, maybe. Let's see. Does this have a time cost or an MP cost? No, it does not. Yeah, it doesn't. Oh, okay. Uh Here, I can't see this. This might be why. I put in those variables for the minimum number of hits and the maximum number of hits, and I forgot to put that back in. So it was probably just iterating over nothing, and then I put that in so that I could quickly do it. But so let's see the script for that. I feel like if it does the effect, it would still check if it was my turn if it did nothing, but who knows? Oh, what am I doing here? I just messed up my chat window. There we go. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Could be the reason, but I'm not convinced that's the only reason. Okay. It's taking me a while to find a martial artist, but I'm kind of thinking that I don't want to put it back on screen because I don't think it's fixed. It's got to be something other than that. Well, let me just when we say that an ability is used, or well, that would be even before the ability is used, it would do its turn. If it can use Rapid Strike, it plays the attack animation. That actually may be the problem. I thought it maybe just skipped them if one doesn't exist. But I actually am not sure that's the case. Does anyone else have that problem? No, I think I put in a default like fake animation just called. Let's fix that up. I think I might have to have one called attack. Just in case. Okay, I'm willing to take a chance on that fix and then put this back on screen. I just hate when it crashes. I'm trying to show something. Alright, we'll just wander around till we find it. Just gonna change the encounter rate again. Actually, no, because that was bugged too. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay, does the cleric not have a name? That's very weird. It just said died. It didn't say cleric died. Sometimes it feels like information is like left off of the inspector if things change, so I'm considering like hard coding more of that. No, it's their turn. They're still not doing anything. Yeah, we got a problem then. All right, what else could the reason be? Let's track this all through. So let's look at enemy turn. Okay. For enemy and enemies, and this is like a randomized list at this point. Like it's not too intelligent. It's just a randomized list of enemies that could attack. If the enemy's not dead, and if they don't have any sleep counters, you wait for them to do their turn. Okay. Enemy do turn. Okay, martial artist has a override for that. If they can use rapid strike, then they play the animation, and then you will wait for it to use. Let's just have a bunch of different flags. They're not attacking randomly, which is interesting, I suppose. Because they're not attacking at all. If it was a problem with not being able to use rapid strike, then they should attack randomly. So I think we're getting inside of rapid strike, and then maybe the ability's not doing anything, or I don't know. Anyway, this will tell me in the output when it's their turn. Okay. I'm just playing it in the background here, but now it should be their turn. Okay, we got through flag 1 and flag 2. So it's inside the... It can use rapid strike. That's not a problem. Oh, we should have put a flag here. Here, I'll do it again. So are we not passing the animation, or are we not passing the use function for that skill? That's the most likely now. Division by 0. The target defense. Who was the target? Damn. The cleric tried to use cleave. I feel like maybe some of the cleric's information got overwritten. Oh, yeah. So weird. It keeps happening too. But the cleric wasn't the target, so I don't know. Sometimes it's like any change to the superclass like overwrites all of my inspector. Variables. Okay. Okay. That should have been what I'm looking at here. This should be the martial artist turn. Okay, so I guess potentially we're having a problem with the animation being finished because oh, it might be a looping animation. I don't know if it's a problem if it has 0 frames, but if it's looping, it will never finish. Okay. God, that's so many little things. Uh, oh, that's very strange. I got into. Okay. Oh, God. I need to rethink how I'm doing this. Okay. I'll have to show what I'm doing. I happened to get in front of in a battle in front of an NPC whose default text is just hello, and then they pull up the fusion menu. So I'm in a battle, but I also have this scene loaded. Oh, God. See, I thought that it would be. So I think the problem is I'm adding a battle to the scene tree, but I'm not removing the original scene, and I believe that I was, but I don't know why it's not actually looking at the code. But okay, let's work on this rapid strike thing first. Yeah, no, it's still just not going through. Okay. All right. I added frames to that animation. I didn't think it would be a problem if it had none. Okay. Yeah, it works now. All right. Perfect. Let me show it. Bit weird, but yeah, no, I thought I had encountered an animation just skipping right over before if there was no animation. My screen I'm showing is a little too big for, but you should still be able to. Actually, now let me just fix this so that it looks better. Okay. For some reason, I can't edit the transform of it right now. It doesn't matter. Uh, let's just do something to heal instead. And same thing here. Okay, he should attack. Hit me for 7 damage, hit me for 7 damage. Then it missed. Yeah, multiple hits. I mean, there's no animation, but it's fine. Let's see. Yeah, I mean that's good. Still a few problems, but um, yeah. So we got the illusory doubles that it can spawn when it gets missed, and then it can have a like multi-hit attack. So we just here. Oh, that the message of it hitting me 2 times played a little late, but that's a little odd. Okay. Why is that gray? There's definitely problems with how the battle scenes are getting initialized. Yeah, there's an issue with that. Except I don't really see why, because I roll for an encounter and then, I instantiate it, add the child, and then I free it. And then the test scene is like the just environment that the player's in. So when it calls to its parent, queue free, this should just be gone, I guess. I thought. Mm. For some reason, it's not removing the sort of environment scene. Here, I need to watch this. Sometimes it is. It's a bit odd. This red node should be, there should only be one. It should either be test scene or a battle. Let me just make it worse on myself and make the encounter rate 100%. Seems like the speed of it is sometimes causing a problem, but it's not even doing it now. It's just strange. Anyway, I've kind of implemented some of the abilities of the martial artist, so I think I'll probably just call it a stream. No one's really around right now, but yeah, I'll just end it here. Put this up on my VOD, and yeah, hopefully there's more people around next time. See ya.